See what I put on for us today?
I I love it.
At Hi, Carly. Yay. I'm so excited. This is Lauren and I'm Jessica. And we're really excited
Hi,
to be here
everyone.
today. Checking out a live, which I haven't done in a really long time, but I love watching other people's. So we thought it might be fun to get together today. Um, Yay. Welcome.
Yay.
How
Hi,
are
everyone.
how are you feeling, Lauren?
I'm good. I'm stoked to be doing this here with you today. It's my first time on a live, so personally, or like a co-live, so personally, I'm super stoked we're getting it to work. And yeah, thank you for folks that have joined us. I just want to say hello and welcome. We're here for all the kindred spirits who just want to slow down, tune into their intuition, and improve their photography skills with us. So we're excited to be here with you and to answer all your questions about mindful photography.
Yay. And yes, that's our big announcement that we've been working on this collaboration for so long, and we have our workshop starting in February. And it's super fun to see who's on this call because many of you have witnessed my journey with social media and photography, and a lot of it's been influenced by great conversations and tons of play with Lauren. So um, I think if you don't know me, I'm an acupuncturist. This is me, Jessica. I'm an acupuncturist and energy coach, and I've been doing this work for a long time. And you know what's changed in the last few years is how I share it. And a lot of my ideas around healing have shifted in the last few years. And the philosophy underneath it all, the five element theory and the Taoism, that hasn't changed. And that part is like so important to me, the five element theory and the connection to nature and seeing nature as the visible face of Tao. It's just amazing. And so in the last few years, when everything got a little bit weird, I just fell in love with it again. And anyway, I've been in love with the theory for a good 25 or more years. I've been doing different kinds of healing work all this time. And what I really want to do now is like introduce this idea of levity and fun and play into the journey of healing or the practice of healing so that we don't have to be just like sick and fucked up when we start talking about growth and yeah. So anyway, I'm rambling, but that's me. You know me if you're on the live, but maybe you don't because it's social media. So um, I just know what's right for me and you know what's right for you. That's the bottom line. And I want to find new ways to kind of cultivate that connection within each of us to our own path. So here we are. That's me. And this is Lauren, my amazing sister friend that, I mean, I'll let you say who you are, but I know who you are. You're my amazing photographer friend and many more things.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Hi. If you don't know me, I'm Lauren, and I've been a photographer for over 25 years, and I now run my own fine art photography business, and that's been a fantastic adventure. Nature is my church. It's my sacred place, and it's definitely a mindfulness practice for me. I feel like I drop into a meditation. I'm just here with the present moment when I'm taking photos of nature, and my thoughts just still. I feel a lot calmer and more centered and just present. And so, like Jess and I have been talking about throughout our entire friendship, we've been talking about these things that we're passionate about, and we realize that they really overlap. And so, I mean, I don't know how many conversations we've had where we've been like, we should really do something together. Like mindfulness and photography together. So that's what's happening. And that's what we're finally making, creating, starting in February, which is only a week and a half away. So we've already got some folks signed up, and hope to have some more of you join us.
yeah, and hearing that and knowing everything we've been through, it feels important to say, where this idea really, we've had it for a long time, but there were a lot of ahas about a year ago. And I just want to reference her amazing trip to Joshua Tree, where I was wearing this hat, which is why I just popped it on my head right now. But we we were doing what we do, which is hike, and she takes photos, and I talk about five element theory, and she asks great questions. And then I realize it's even more amazing than I thought it was before when I was just sitting with it myself. And basically, this huge aha happened for me on that trip when we were so in flow and goofing around. And I realized that when I was in creative flow with Lauren or any other great creative partners, another person who showed up in this live, Carly, you know, you're one of them too. When we're so in that place together, sharing the creative flow, it is the same place that I call the meditation sanctuary. It's the same place in your head where if you're aware of it, you're tapping into the energy. And so when I kind of got this huge freaking aha that the meditation sanctuary, which a subtle shift of your awareness will reset your entire nervous system and start regulating digestion, immune system, reproduction, and sleep. This meditation sanctuary was also the place that we got to when we were in creative flow. And when we were sharing that and we were connecting together, I just saw, you know, as someone who likes to write and draw at home and bake and do quiet, creative things, that there was this like huge power in sharing that. As when you're healing, when you receive acupuncture and you're talking about your process with your coach, when you're sharing the journey, it's magical. Hence the hat. And like the magic is always there, but I just don't think healing needs to be this isolated, quiet experience anymore. And I think many of us would like to start living from our gifts instead of our wounds, and like kind of having some levity and humor about this clumsy evolution that we're all going through. So I'm rambling. I knew I'd do that, but that was like who we are. Who we are. I am really excited about the collaboration, and calling anybody that just wants to like have a little humor and levity and still be connected to spirit and nature and growth and create something really cool and fun together.
Yeah, completely. I feel calmer just from hearing you talk about it. Like I feel like I meditated. And yeah, that's the kind of feeling that we're cultivating in this workshop together, I think, because that's the feeling we cultivate anytime we work together. Just this combination of, you know, dropping in, tuning into your intuition, all of those health benefits you just described from doing this, plus like the health benefits you get from being outside in nature. Like there's no way we can't feel good doing this. And then the part that I'm really focused on, of course, is photography. And I've got a lot of experience, a lot to share and teach, but I'm really approaching this very like not advanced photography, but more like using your camera phone that you have in your pocket all the time. Like really starting to deepen a creative practice that is present and ready for you wherever you are, where you can just like take notice of what's around you. And then I'll combine that with the very like technical aspects of learning more about your camera phone, like all the different ways, instead of just like turning it on and taking a photo and be like, yeah, I guess, you know, but actually starting to think about how you're seeing the world, how you're telling your story about it, and how you use the actual mechanics on your camera phone to tell that story. And this is the kind of environment that is totally no stress, no judgment. Expect to feel safe, supported, and nourished as you get to playfully explore the world around you and the world internally and the world through your camera and show that unique perspective that only you have. And, you know, showing it to yourself and then sharing it with other people in a way that suits you. And then bonus, these photos, you can use them for your personal projects, your professional projects, for anything that you want to use. So you'll definitely have not only a deep and creative practice, but you know, actual art that you can share with the world.
Yeah. Well, you just said it so well that like you have made taking photos and being in front of the camera and on both sides of the camera so fun and accessible to even me, who before we met really didn't take photos. And also happy to have Carly on the call because she remembers me, and she's also an incredible photographer and film genius. And she was helping me in the past, and I was so awkward. I just couldn't get comfortable. And it took so long until I could be comfortable on both sides of the camera. And of course, we did incredible stuff together, and somehow she made me look a little less clunky. But that clunkiness, now, right now, that was many years ago. Right now with the iPhone, you can do so much. I can't believe that, a year ago, I tried to figure out a reel and I could not. But now we've got all these apps and all these little things that you've started to teach me, and I can't wait to learn more. How to take night photography, how to get the water reflection to do this really cool softening. I forget what you call that, but I can't wait to really deepen into this process during the winter, which is the water time of year, and connect it with this idea of aligning with nature and your own fear, your own uncertainty, like, what the heck am I doing? And this idea that you can, like, perspective, right? Camera and photos is all about perspective, but we all have our own unique perspective. And so how can we use these simple tools with our phone that's always in our pocket, our connection to nature, our connection to the wisdom of the season, and have a new perspective on what is often a dark and murky and wet time? I mean, it's the water time of year because it's still, quiet, deep. Sometimes it's kind of hard to see clearly, like you're caught in a wave. February is known to be a month when a lot of the blues come up, and we want to really shift our thinking about that. Can we be in the darkness and the rain and the snow and the wild ocean, or if you're in California dealing with all those storms? Wherever you are, water is in so many forms. And how can you use your phone in a new way, in a fun way, to really get right with the season and check in with the wisdom of the season, which is intuition, which is courage, which is, yeah, it's really just like a pause between cycles. And I am so excited to, like, have our workshop be the way we have it set up, which is over 6 weeks. And we're just going to meet on Zoom every other week. Lots of connection to us in between. But these three sections, which I'll let you say a little more about the photo thing, but these three sections are to just, like, deepen our connection with nature and our comfort with the phone. Get into coming up with our own relationship with our phone and how we're seeing the world around us and capturing nature. And then, like, identifying the reality that we're all different. What we're going to see is different, and what's going to light us up. Or I use the language of life force, because life force is all about this time of year. Hi, Meetsy. Hi, Amy. Yay. The life force is totally related to this water, dark, winter time of year, the stillness and getting, like, right with yourself and noticing what grows your life force and what puts it out. And I know my and our intention here is to, like, check in with our life force and our intuition and recognize that creativity grows that and creative play grows that. And it will be unique for each of us what we'll see in the water season. And so towards the end, we'll be a little more comfortable not knowing what the heck we're doing and using that as a clue towards what really lights us up. And then we'll create these little things to share, which, as I ramble again, I'll just say, I want to focus on getting grounded and growing my life force and tapping in with my intuition, and inviting you all to see how much winter and water time of year supports that.
I love that. I find that so helpful. Like, when you first started talking to me about five element theory, it was like everything you said made me feel so much more grounded, and like I understood what was going on seasonally in my life. And I love what you say about water in particular, because we've been talking about that a lot lately. That this is, of course, like, and I imagine it being in a body of water, that murkiness, that sense of floating, the groundlessness, you don't know what's up or down. you don't really know what's ahead, and that can be scary. But the way you talk about it, it's like, of course you feel that way because it's the water time of year. And that, accept that right now you're just reflecting and readying yourself for the seeds that you'll plant in the spring and in the next season. And that has brought me so much peace with, and like I really now embrace this time of year where I'm like I don't have to have perfect clarity right now. I just get to be with it all and like let the new things come up, let the new ideas, the new um, passions, everything that, all my vision is starting to come more and more clear as we come toward the spring. So I love that. And likewise, in photography, I feel like that's how we're going to explore water. The sense that, like, I'm just walking out into the world today. I don't know what I'm going to come across, but I'm going to trust that I know what yes feels like and I know what no feels like. And I'll follow the yes and I'll stay away from the no. And even in the act of taking pictures, sometimes you're like, I'm feeling a yes. I don't know why. And then later you look at the photo and you're like, oh, it's so beautiful. Like, and I was feeling all these feelings in this photo with the skills that you'll learn for taking it, for editing it, you can really bring out what you were feeling at that moment and what you want to communicate, even if you don't know when you're taking the photo.
You are so right. I mean, the water phase is all that. It is like the uncertainty and it can bring up the fear, but it's also where we find our courage and the potential. And some of the exercises we'll go through are like, instead of over intellectualizing it, you give some of the intellectual tips how to make this work on your phone. But then in the moment when you just get that feeling or something lights you up and you're just feeling your life force a little bubbly and excited, then capture that. And of course, then in the second section, the second meetup, we'll talk about editing and turning that into something that I know you are so good at this, is like bringing the feeling out in the picture. I have seen photos on the phone, mine or yours, that were super flat, and then you're like, boo, 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 edit it. And I'm like, that's totally how I was feeling. You pulled the color, and the, color has such an energy behind it, but you pulled the color out of that feeling I was having in that moment. And so I'm super excited. I mean, I just want to comment on the creative flow thing. In Chinese medicine, wood energy often gets stagnant. We call it liver qi stagnation. It causes a whole bunch of annoying symptoms. It's so common. And there are many reasons for this, but so often I find that it is really just stuck creative energy. As we know, the overculture, it's so lame, right? It just does not support being an artist and frolicking in the woods and being naked. But anybody who's on this call or who's going to join our class, we know that's where it's at. And so often people's life force gets depleted because they're doing crap they don't want to do all day. But the beauty of this is like we just want to unblock all of our way of seeing creativity. It's like you don't have to sit down for a day or a week or a month and be an artist. You can just look around at the world around you and have some creative play with it and start to just unblock that energy. Because, I mean, for so many years, whether it's an acupuncture or a coaching client, I ask a question like, and if you had time, what would you do? And people say, I'd write a book, I'd learn to paint, I'd make some jewelry. And it's like, okay, well, this is the beauty of the iPhone, and connecting with nature. And the five element theory is like the most random moment when you're sitting in a rainstorm, waiting it out before you drive. Suddenly there's water on the glass, and that's an incredible picture to add to your collection. So I'm super excited. I don't know if you can tell. I've done it.
You.
Uh,
Yeah, I love that. And this is how what we're working on together dovetails really nicely. And and so for folks on the call, like the way that Jess and I have started thinking about this workshop is like format wise, like she mentioned, we're going to meet 3 times. It's totally online, so you can meet from anywhere, bring a friend, And uh, we're going to start with the mindfulness practice, and Jess will kick it off. And so we'll start to get into that space, that creative space, really unblocking ourselves for doing the creative work. And I believe that by doing this process together over the 6 weeks, and we'll have like prompts in between our meeting too, you'll deepen your creative practice, unblock your creativity, and start feeling really good, really energized in your life. And we're here to support and nourish that. So we'll kick off with mindfulness practice. And then the first session, I'll teach you all about taking pictures with your camera phone. Everything I'll teach you, you can use on any camera, but I'm going really simple and staying with camera phones because that's the camera that you have on you all the time. And the first session, I'm just going to rock your world with things you could do with your camera phone that you didn't know you could do to take amazing photos. And then like send you out in the world and you just like photograph your heart out. And then the second meeting, I'm going to teach you things you didn't know you could do about editing on your phone. And like, I'm not just talking about like change the colors, make it brighter, contrast. We'll even go like on the far wild side with like stuff you could do with your art, because like no holds barred, right? Like this is your creativity and the way that you are seeing and expressing things. I want to empower and enable that even more for you. And then the third session, we'll do sharing. And to the degree that folks are comfortable sharing, we can share right there in the session altogether. And then I also want to talk about ways that you can share your art afterward. Social media, printing, gifting, putting on your wall, making video out of it, all sorts of things that you can do. Like, again, we're just going to open up that book of creativity and get playful and get exploratory. And if you feel intimidated, that is totally normal. Some people don't feel comfortable with technology, and maybe it's like, I've got this phone, but I don't really want to push all the buttons. And this will be a space. Right? You're not alone. But yeah, awesome. I love it. We got more folks joining. But yeah, this is like folks I've worked with in the past, like they felt kind of nervous and intimidated, and suddenly they just felt set free with their camera and could just like play around with it and make stuff, because it wasn't about doing it right anymore. It was just about doing it playfully and with curiosity and exploration. So that's the kind of vibe that we are approaching creativity with.
And just trusting it. Again, trusting and surrender to the flow. Those are obviously really the lessons that we get in the water phase when we come inside and get dark and it gets a little, cold. So I love that. And I just want to say again, there's 3 modules. We're going to go over the editing. We're going to go over the picture taking first, and then the editing, and then like curating a group or a collection or 3 of your favorite photos. Like, we're not here to make you have homework, but I personally am feeling really inspired to gather a collection of water images and see other people's water images, and then really, once again, all these years later, deepen into the season and the element. And each of us know the seasons. We know the feeling of water. And so I just think it's going to be super cool to see everyone's different perspective of that. And you're right about the embodiment, the mindful exercises, the energy medicine exercises that I'll be introducing. My vision with it is, along with those 3 sections, in the beginning, we're introducing the 5 elements as a roadmap to creativity. 5-element theory is actually the natural creative process in nature, within ourselves, and really everything. I mean, so it's for creativity and art, but it's also for like accomplishing big goals, changing your life. There is a season, and there's phases and seasons within seasons. So you have a season in life. I think we're all kind of coming out of a pretty watery phase that's lasted the last 3 years. That's why it's so important that we're starting this now. Like, let's figure out whatever the heck we were supposed to do all alone and cold in winter. And then let's move on and plant some new seeds and grow some new beautiful flowers and ways of being. And so the creative cycle is important for getting shit done, for making big changes in life, and also just for doing art. So first section, I'm going to talk about an overview on five element theory, why it's amazing and awesome and always teaching us if we just open our eyes and understand a little bit about the map. And I do want to say that nature is what we call the visible face of Tao. So when we look to nature, we get to kind of decide if we're on our path or not and align and attune to that. And so we're going to talk first session about overview and five elements. Second session, really emphasizing grounding and life force and why getting really clear on both of those is everything as far as I'm concerned, but why it's so important and super fun. And we'll get grounded and cultivate life force each session, but we'll get a little more into that and why cultivation helps you hear your intuition. And just really deepen into the water element. I've mentioned some themes around it already, but it's like intuition, darkness, listening, wisdom, really getting all right with your fear and finding courage. And so I just hope this really deepens our connection to nature, to the creative process itself, and then to each other. I love living where I do now in the mountains and the woods on a river. And thanks to the internet, we can all be connected. So I'll go out and look at the snow and the rain, take some pictures. And I miss you all, my friends in California, and so many of you who've moved away. But what a fun way to stay in the conversation about, growth and play and fun and healing, and capture some images that I know I'll use on social media and maybe in some copy or my one day future workbook on five elements, and being aligned with that. So what do you think you might do with your photo collection? Have you thought that far yet, Lauren? I mean, you've taken so
Love
many
that.
pictures of water, but how might this be a different collection and experience of water for you?
I love that. Well, the first thing that really resonated with me, you mentioned doing like putting together like a two or a series of three. And I love that kind of project. That's actually something I really want to work on more this year is like, how do these things relate together as a collection? So I'm certainly going to work with that. And then, of course, running my own fine art business, a lot of this is going to end up, being shared online. And I actually have a lot of incredibly beautiful photos I've taken with my iPhone. Like the technology has gotten to be so good, and I really want to start sharing, like putting more of that art in my shop. So you never know, I might end up selling some prints. But most of all, I think I'll treasure it as like this amazing experiment that we're doing together, and really thinking about like how even this project is a bit unknown and murky to us, but we're just finding our way through it intuitively. And I think those photos at the end will be the seeds for what comes next.
Well, you said it so well. I think so many of us have been tapping into something different. We're not logically trying to figure everything out. And don't get me wrong, we have a system and a structure and an outline for what we're doing. But can we let the systems and structures that we create in our life provide space for flow, allow us to hear our intuition? My favorite question I got when I was moving here, and so backing up for those of you that don't know, a year ago we were in Joshua Tree. Lauren decided to go full time and live on the road and take her art photos and really get this amazing business going on. You should check it out, laurenelainecoleman.com or at Lauren Elaine Coleman on Instagram. You probably already are, but her captures of nature. So she decided a year ago to hit the road and do her art full time. And I decided to also hit the road and leave California and moved to North Carolina. And the question I got asked over and over again is like, oh, why? Do you have a job there? Is your family there? Like, why are you doing this? And it annoyed me at first, but then I was like, I don't know why. I am doing it because my intuition says, or because I'm getting called there. And I know a few of you who are showing up right now are like were with me in the process. Like it kind of made no sense to me that I would move to the South and so far away from the West and this place I thought I'd live forever in California. And it's so right. It's so right. And so as we connect to the murky water time and we start to listen and we learn to go with the flow a little more, I think we're really waking up. I mean, we are multisensory beings. The five senses, they create that crap that we're not interested in anymore, this power over, power under weird world we live in. We're moving more towards, all of us really listening to our intuition and tapping into the energy that is always within and around us. And from there, I'm really excited because, like, what if we're all creating from our intuition and our inner wisdom? We're going to be seeing a lot more fun, playful, joyful, local, community, um, just play, I think, and also support of each other. And so, community, collaboration, play, those are themes that I have right now that I'm really bringing into this series with us. And um, inspiration as like a connection to our intuition into something way better than that stuff we're done with. And so I know none of us know what the new world looks like, but I think each connection to our inner wisdom is going to get us closer. So,
Oh my gosh, you just like lit me on fire with that. Like, yes, we are all the last 2 years we've all gone through like complete upheaval, a lot of unknown. I hope we're all becoming more comfortable with the unknown. Jess just brought up, like, reminded me that, like, the ways that Jess and I have been living in the unknown for the past 2 years by totally upending our lives. Like, my story in brief was that, like, I have always known I wanted to do art as my career, as my life, and I chose a different path. I chose a creative corporate path, and it was fine. There was a lot I loved about it, but it didn't feel quite right. Like it felt like I was on a parallel path with what I really wanted to be doing, but I was scared because to leave your job, leave a stable paycheck, I even left a stable home. Like my car is my home. I sold 90% of my things. Like I'm in a whole new world, and it took me a lot of courage to get to that place, to like just let go of shore and everything known and go out, because I knew I needed to. I didn't know what I would find. I just knew that impulse was there to go look. And I would know I'd find it as I found it. And like that's my life now. Every day, like I typically wake up and I'm trying to figure out like where I am, where I'm going, who's this person, like everything's new. And instead of being afraid, and I've definitely experienced fear along the way, but I've become so much more comfortable with that unknown, with that curiosity and play. Like, what will I discover today? Like, instead of projecting, this is going to be scary, like,
yeah.
I should do this. Instead, I'm like, but what happens if I do?
And can you be scared a little bit and do it
Yeah.
anyway? And that's a lot of the lesson of water is like we find our potential and our courage. We find our potential. I mean, like the real potential. Everyone always said we should live up to our potential. I'm gonna say live up to like creating the life that we really want, that's fulfilling. And so you're right. We both jumped into the unknown. I know we're not the only ones. I hope more people who are in some phase of transformation will show up and join us so that we can like literally play and create around this idea of, the pause between cycles and looking at the fear and, being friends with it, but letting it be a sign that we're going towards something meaningful, not like a sign to stay home and get scared. And so I had so much fear too around leaving California, I must say. And I thought the coaching and the acupuncture and all this like self-help growth work I'd been doing forever was going to make the fear less, but it didn't. And so, it's just like a new way. Can you be afraid and excited at the same time? Can you be afraid and go with the flow a little bit and like just get comfortable with it? So,
I feel
water.
like that's up in a
Yeah.
nutshell.
Wait, what was that?
Feel like that's this workshop in a nutshell. Like, can
Yeah.
you be nervous, be afraid? Can it be unknown? And can you still playfully, curiously explore?
Yeah. Well, may we please. And I'm so happy we're starting in water. I don't want to say too much more myself, but my water is my teacher right now, living on this river. And I think I was most afraid of leaving the ocean. And yet, after over 20 years, really close to the ocean, I love the river. And I love the rain, by the way. It's a big reason I came here. Like, it rains all the time, and there's nobody that's been as excited about it as me. And the snow is gorgeous. I was so afraid of the snow. But what I just brought up is water has many forms. And so does that sneaky little fear thing. So let us, notice when it shows up and just be with it and sit on a river or on the ocean and just watch how things flow. The river looks like it's mellow and floating down the mountain, and it's definitely going the path of least resistance. But do not let it fool you. It is so powerful. The water. We see it in the ocean, how powerful it is, but even in a stream or a river. That water, it breaks big boulders down, creates new pathways. And so I know that the more we get comfortable with that quiet time in ourselves, the more powerful and impactful we can be. So
Love that.
I'm so excited.
Well,
Are we
I
going to
know.
friends? I hope.
What's that?
I said, are we going to bring friends? I hope. I know a few people have already signed up and we're talking about bringing a friend. And I just wanted to encourage that. Like,
Yeah,
this is like friends hanging out together. We're so excited to spend the time together with a little bit of structure to our flow. And be super fun if some other of our dear friends showed up, our new friends, our old friends. Bring your friend, bring your mom, your brother, sister. We are going to make this like really affordable and encourage that, because what an amazing like thing we have had to get to share these conversations in nature together over the years. And I know that learning with your friends and loved ones, your mom, your sister, is a really cool way to, take pictures, be out playing, talk about
yeah,
nature and your connection to it. So let's get a little friend circle together and get inspired together and make the dark, murky time super fresh and new and refreshing.
I love it. Well, also, we got a question. So I'll
Yes.
ask us, what time of day will the workshop be? Not sure how many hours I am ahead of you.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, you're right. The time is, I'm Eastern time, Eastern Pacific time. And so it's 1 to 3 for me on Saturdays. And oh, it's 6 4. It would be so fun if you were there. That'd be amazing. Oh, we could bring all that Bali energy right here. I love that. So it's 6:40 p.m. It's 12:30 right now. This is a really good question. Oh, great. It might work because the class will start in 20 from now on a Saturday. So, right? At 1 to 3 Eastern on Saturday. So it'll be 7 p.m. So 7 to 9. Ooh, that would be so amazing if you could be here. And yeah, Bali. And then let's maybe, Lauren and I want to do more of this. So maybe we should do a workshop in Bali. Just putting it out there. I mean, not tomorrow, but later. Let's do one of these workshops in Bali, please. Um, that'd be so great if you could be in the Netherlands too and show us what water looks like there. I mean, it's amazing, right? What winter looks like in each of these places. Again,
Yes.
so afraid of winter. I was so afraid of the snow, and I love it. And my wood burning stove. So the way we'll be showing each other what February looks like in from our perspective in our homes would be so cool. So please come. Definitely. Any other questions? Does anybody have any questions? And I know this live will like go up on our feeds, and then if you have questions and you put them in the comments, great. You can definitely DM one or both of us. Um, but let's have some fun and do something new and connect. And you do have lots. Oh yeah, you do have lots of water in the night.
Sure.
I know. I want to go there. Where else can we meet? This was, part of it is like, isn't the internet amazing? Like that we can all be connected and remember that we have community, even when we're deep in nature, as Lauren always is. Always is. Or me too, almost always, right? I do drive into Asheville a couple days a week, the big city of Asheville. So, yeah, of course, there's going to be recordings, and we want to really make this like high touch. This is our first of this series where around creativity is healing, and we'll be doing different things throughout the year. But especially right now, super high touch. We're not doing big marketing. So if you're into this, like, please share it with your friends and family. We just want to get us together, those of us who want to have a conversation like this and get in their creative flow. And we're open to, we're just open to meeting everybody where they're at and really finding ways to be connected. And instead of have February feel a little dark and lonely, have it feel like really like it's growing our life force and our connection to ourselves and each other. So let's play.
I love that.
That doesn't come across. Um, any other questions? Let us know. It would be so amazing if.
Both Jess and I have our, like, you can find links in our Instagram biography. It'll, we both use like a link tree kind of thing, so it'll get you links to everything. But again, the first session starts February 4th, which is a week and a half. Tickets are available in the link in our bio. Definitely. Thanks for following me, Laura.
Oh, yeah.
We definitely have early bird tickets available. And then, like Jess was saying, we're really encouraging bring a friend. And so, you can save even more bringing a friend. Early bird tickets we are offering that through this Saturday. And then, yeah, you're going to get all the information we're going to send to you in the email you used to sign up with. So we'll send you the link to our Zoom for the session, and we're going to send you a lot of creative and mindful resources. Again, we're going to meet 3 times over 6 weeks, so you'll have 2 weeks in between. And during that time in between, you're still going to hear from us. We're going to be sending you creative and mindfulness prompts, things that you can continue to use to deepen your practice through those weeks. And certainly, like, we're open to exploring what the group dynamic is. Like, if you want more time all together, like, we're gonna create networks and systems, like resources that will bring us closer together. If you prefer to work on your own, we will stay with the email. Like, we're going with the flow. It's the nature of the water. And yeah, 3 sessions, February 4th, February 18th, and March 4th. We'll meet for about 2 hours, starting at 10 a.m. Pacific, which is 1 p.m. Eastern,
And
and
7 p.m. And
blends might be 6 p.m. We'll figure that out, Laura. And sorry, you were gonna say something?
oh no, I was saying she did put it in the comments, like we all figured out the time, but I didn't mean to cut you off. But yeah, I'm excited and we're open to it ebbing and flowing. And the funny thing about the water time of year is, like, I think it will be nice to connect, and we're open to, we were talking like, what's the group dynamic and how's it going to be? And may I just suggest that it's an invitation to go deep with yourself and then to stay committed and connected to that journey, to see your world in a new way. And so I was just really aware. I thought this was a good time to start this project because we might want a lot of connection and we all might be feeling more introverted right now. And so somewhere in between, it's okay to be introverted and quiet with your process and your practice, but that's why we often need a little accountability, so part of us stretching it out, at least when I thought of us stretching it out, instead of, in the summer we might do a full weekend workshop where you're all in all the time and we're all hanging out together. But that's not really in alignment with the season right now. We're all feeling a little quieter, and the idea being this starts right around Imbolc, which is the halfway point. We're just starting to get ideas of coming out of our shell. So we want you there. I'm not saying you're not invited, but if you're a little more introverted and you're feeling quiet or the time doesn't work for you, like, don't you worry. It's just you get to do you in this. And it's about holding space for the journey for 6 weeks to really wake up what gets you feeling more fully yourself.
Yeah. And you brought up a great point, we will have all the recordings available for if any reason you can't meet with us live, you still get all of the content and you get all of the creative prompts. And this is something you can absolutely do on your own time. With, we want to keep it flexible for your life.
So it's been amazing to talk to you. I'm more excited about the whole offering. I can't wait to really get into it. So another week of telling people about it and see who wants to join us. But I'm glad we showed up for this live. I haven't done one time, but I've had so much fun talking to you. I can't wait to learn to use my phone. So thank you. Thanks you guys for showing up. It's so fun to see you all. And yeah, reach out and let me know what you're thinking, and let's see what feels fun.
Yeah, send your questions. We're here for you. And I
Awesome.
hope to see you there.
Nice to see you both, Laura's. And I can't really tell who's on this thing right now. So if I didn't say hi to you, Kat, I'm not sure. Meetsy. And oh, wow. Actually, as I scroll, this thing is amazing. Maybe we'll do more lives. Thank you. Thank you guys for showing up. And we'll figure out how to put this in my feed in case you want to review or just get an idea on how we work together. So,
Yeah.
bye. Thank you.